Welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. My name is Kat. We all know coffee shops use big, fancy, expensive machines to make their espresso-based beverages like lattes, mochas, americanos, macchiatos. And while you can absolutely buy a fancy, expensive machine to make espresso at home, it's not the only option for making great tasting lattes at home. There are lots of other budget-friendly methods, options that are cheaper, easier, and still taste delicious that we're going to talk about today, so you can choose to go the simple route or the fancy route depending on your preference. So let's run through all the different ways you can make espresso-based beverages at home, starting from the simplest, most affordable option and building up to the more complex, more expensive options. The first option for making iced lattes at home is to use an espresso concentrate. This is a very low effort, very affordable, very easy at-home option. Nescafé recently launched these espresso concentrates. They have different flavors. I know other brands have them, like Javi, Peet's Coffee. Lots of brands have these espresso concentrates. It's just a liquid, highly concentrated coffee. And to make a latte at home, you just get a cup full of ice and add in the concentrate on top, about a tablespoon or so, depending on how strong you like your coffee. You can get an unflavored one, unsweetened ones, depending on your preference. This one is a caramel one, so it's sweetened and flavored. So you just add in the concentrate to your milk or water, and boom, you have an iced latte at home with little to no effort at all. Just add it to a cup and you can head out the door. Super simple. Let's taste it. Honestly, I'm impressed at how good it tastes for how little effort. And you don't need a machine or anything. You can buy these concentrates at any grocery store along with milk and you have your latte ready to go. The next option for making lattes at home is to use an instant espresso powder. The instant powders are coffees that have been brewed and then freeze-dried or dried, and so they're just a dry powder, and you're simply rehydrating it to make your espresso shots at home. My two favorites are these. I like the Nescafé Gold Espresso or the Cafe Bustelo Instant Espresso, and all you do to make espresso shots for lattes is get a little bit of the powder, add to a cup, and then add some hot water over the top so that way we can dissolve it. Then just stir until the powder is fully dissolved. And you have your espresso shots that are perfect for an iced latte or any espresso-based beverage you want to make at home. Just pour this into a cup with your preferred sweetener and some milk. Add some ice and you have an easy iced latte at home. This method is very, very simple, just 2 steps to make espresso at home. And again, you can get these at any grocery store as well in the coffee aisle. The next option is to use a pod machine like a Nespresso or a Keurig. If your Keurig has a shot function button, that's what you're going to use to make your espresso. Pop in any K-cup of choice. Find one that you like the taste of the coffee, medium roast, light roast, dark roast, a flavored K-cup, and then just add in your K-cup, close it, and push the shot button, and then you'll get a small amount of coffee, similar to what you would get out of an espresso machine. The same thing goes for a Nespresso machine. You want to use an espresso pod. Nespressos have coffee pods and espresso pods. You want to use ones that are marked espresso, and they're usually like the 2.7 ounce pods, or I think the single shot pods are 1.35 ounces. And you just add in your espresso pod, add it to your machine, push go, and you have brewed espresso. Personally, I prefer espresso from a Nespresso machine, and so I do often use my Nespresso over my Keurig if I'm wanting espresso drinks like lattes. I have lots of recipes using my Nespresso machine on my Nespresso playlist, which I will link in the description below. Pod machines are another really super easy, low effort, affordable option. You can get all of these products from Walmart, Target, most grocery stores, or online on like Amazon. The next option is a Moka Pot, also known as a stovetop espresso maker or stovetop coffee maker. These are very inexpensive. This one was about $10 to $15. You can get it at most grocery stores or off of Amazon. And essentially, you're making espresso on the stove. So you open up the top, and inside there's a little chamber. And you'll just add some water into the bottom here. Fill up the water just below the valve. And then your coffee, ground coffee, goes in here. I like Cafe Bustelo, but you can use any ground coffee of choice. Scoop it into your Moka Pot. And then you'll screw both of these pieces back together and bring this over to a stovetop or burner. And the heat from the stove will cause the espresso to bubble up into this chamber on the inside. You'll see that there's these little open valves here, and that's where the espresso or the coffee will bubble out into and collect here in the top of the Moka Pot. And then you can just pour, then just remove from the stovetop, and then you'll just pour the coffee out into your cup with a sweetener and some milk to make your own iced lattes at home. I like this option because you can pick whichever coffee beans and coffee grounds you want to use. So you can get them from the store or your favorite local coffee shop. This option, very easy to use, very simple, and still makes great coffee at home. The next option is using an AeroPress. This is a plunger type of mechanism. We're gonna add the coffee, some hot water, give it a stir, flip it over, and then plunge down to brew our espresso. So I have my AeroPress, adding in 18 to 19 grams of ground coffee, and then 90 grams of hot water. Slowly pour over the top. And then give it a quick stir just to make sure all the grounds are fully saturated. And then add your filter into your cap and twist that on. Then add your coffee mug to the top of your AeroPress and then gently flip both of these over. Just like that. Give it a quick little swirl. Make sure everything is fully combined. And then let this brew for 60 to 90 seconds. Don't add that in. While we're waiting, things I like about the AeroPress, it gives really great flavor and texture to your coffee, something that I feel like a Keurig or instant espresso kind of lacks. You can use your favorite ground coffee. So use coffee from your favorite local coffee shop. You can use fresh coffee instead of buying it from the grocery store and you don't know how long it's been there. And also very simple to use. You can take this anywhere with you, pack it in your bag, take it to school or work, go camping, travel with it. Very convenient, very accessible. And this AeroPress is about $40. All right, it's been about 90 seconds. So just hold on to the AeroPress, make sure it's secure on top of your mug, and then slowly push down on the plunger so that the coffee flows down into your mug. It'll be a little bit tough to push, so push down until you hear a hissing noise. And voila, you have espresso. Let me show you what it looks like in this clear cup, just so you can see. Here is your espresso. And this is the coffee that you can add to your sweetener of choice and milk, add some ice, and you have an iced latte. And the next option is a semi-automatic espresso machine. These are the machines you'll most commonly see people using in their homes. It's not quite as fancy or expensive as what you would see in a normal coffee shop, but these espresso makers do make really good quality espresso at home. So if you are looking to spend a decent amount of money, take a good amount of time to make your espresso in the morning, this would be the best option for you. taste-wise, quality-wise, extraction-wise. All the other methods were a lot more simple and much more affordable. Here is where we're getting real complicated. As you can see, there are a lot of tools, products, things that you can use to improve the espresso making process. So not only do you have the machine, usually your machine will come with a few things like different baskets in case you want to use freshly ground coffee, pre-ground coffee. If you want to do 1 shot of espresso, 2 shots of espresso, you can expect to see various different baskets. All espresso machines will come with a portafilter, which is this tool here. This is what you add your grounds into the basket inside the portafilter, lock it in, and that's where you brew your espresso. You can get one with little spouts on the bottom. You can get a bottomless one. Bottomless ones are really good at showing you if you have any channeling inside the basket. And they also just look really pretty. And then tools to better improve your espresso making process, things like a dosing funnel that you can add on top of the portafilter, grind your coffee beans inside, and then use an espresso stirrer. Stir the espresso inside, and then the grounds aren't falling out. Stirring it helps break up the clumps. Then you have your tamper. This is a distributor and tamper tool. This helps distribute the coffee inside the basket. You flip it and tamp. Or you can use the tamper that comes with the machine, something like this, and you tamp, or there's other tampers that are like spring-loaded. There are so many different tools, so many different options. You can get as fancy with it as you want. I very much recommend a scale. At the very bare minimum, you definitely want a scale so you can measure out your coffee and you can weigh your espresso after extracting it. But as you can see, lots of tools, lots of different ways that you can improve your process at home and make it as simple or as complicated and fancy as you want it. What I like about this method is you have a lot of factors you can control. You can control which coffee beans you're using, buy from your favorite local coffee shop, choose different roasts. You can use one roast one day, use another coffee the next. If you and your spouse prefer different coffees, you can each use your own, and you can pick freshly roasted coffee. You can change the amount of coffee that's going into your machine if you're trying to slow down the extraction or speed it up. Lots and lots of control here with this machine, but it is going to require a good amount of effort. You're weighing the beans, you're grinding the beans, stirring, tamping, extracting, weighing that, and then making your latte. So there's lots of little steps that go into just the espresso extraction process. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but you are going to get a very good quality product using a machine like this at home. And again, you can buy a machine like this from most grocery stores nowadays, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, shops like that, as well as online. And then same thing goes for all the tools. You can get all the tools online. And coffee beans, you can just go to your local coffee shop, ask them what beans they're using for espresso, and then you can just buy those and it'll taste like your favorite coffee shop at home. And then the last option, which is something I don't personally own, but I do want to talk about it because it is an option, is a manual lever machine like a flare. And that machine allows you to control all the aspects of the espresso making process. With that type of machine, you can control how fast or slow you're pushing down on the lever. You can control the water temperature. You're in full control of the water temperature as well as the pressure that you're using to extract your espresso. That is another very complex, high effort method for making espresso at home. I don't see that super often. But I did want to throw that out there in case you are interested in trying that as a process for espresso at home. It's going to give you a really, really good, high quality level of espresso, something that you're in full control over every step of the way, versus in a semi-automatic machine like this Breville, you just have less control than you would the manual machine. And a manual machine is priced about the same amount as a machine like this, but you're not going to get the grinder attached or the steam wand attached to it. So it's more expensive because you're paying the same amount of money just for the espresso extraction process. But those are all of the different ways you can make coffee at home for your espresso-based drinks like lattes, mochas, macchiatos, etc. regardless of your budget, regardless of the effort you want to put into espresso making. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about the different ways you can make your iced lattes at home. Let me know if you have any questions on any of the processes, and let me know which espresso making method you currently use. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Got a blast.